Today I'm trying something new. I'm just shooting a quick video with my phone of my 55-gallon frag tank. Looking at this, it's hard to believe that I got rid of about 135 frags about a month ago, and I only added, I think, 6 pieces. Nevertheless, it's still pretty jam-packed. This is a 55-gallon tank. It's probably the least practical size for a frag tank, but it's what I've been working with the last couple of years. I'm not really sure why, but these acros have really colored up. I particularly like this one here, although this one over here is also quite nice. I have quite a few of that one bright green acro, which grows quite well in my softy-dominated display tank. You can hardly tell, but this piece here I took maybe 8 to 10 frags off of, as well as another one from the back. All these little pieces here are those frags, and they've since encrusted and are well on their way to growing. The ones that haven't been fragged of frags have gotten quite large. You can see there is a lot of algae in this tank. Again, there's no skimmer. I feed it heavily, so yeah, there's a bit of nuisance algae. The stuff here, though, it's a hard algae, it's not hair algae, so you can just pick it off with tweezers, and usually it comes off in almost one shot. I have still lots of Kenya trees, despite the fact I got rid of, I don't know how many dozens of them. They're just kind of at the bottom. And then on the sides, even here, there's lots of pallies. This is my super fast growing chalice, which I frag quite frequently. There's even more pieces under here. Here's a new clove polyp. Eventually this will make its way into the display. And the highlight of the corals in here is my rainbow chalice. There's quite a few colors in this. I've been feeding it lots of reefroids and some other meaty foods, and it's already encrusting well. Underneath the small plug there's a tile. Just right now I have other corals there since there's really nowhere else for them to go. Underneath there are even more corals that are not as important or don't need as much light, so I've stuck them under there. This is all about to change though, as I finally did get a proper frag tank again. This is a 50-gallon Zoomed's lowboy. I picked this up when I was in Detroit a couple weeks ago. For an off-the-shelf tank, it's pretty nice at 2 feet wide, 4 feet long, and only 10 inches tall. It's not really the best constructed tank, but for $160 US, I'm not going to complain. I painted the bottom white and the side black. The overflow box I'm using is an Elite Aquatics Slimline overflow. This box probably cost as much as the tank, and I've had it sitting in storage for 3 years. It was originally going to go on my 180-gallon tank, which I broke when I moved here. Besides the new tank, I'm finally getting around to painting and staining. The room is pretty blue. It's getting dark now, and I just have a lamp in here so you can't really tell. I've also changed the disgusting carpet to vinyl flooring. These old skimmers underneath are just there for now because I'm moving stuff. They're either missing pumps or broken pumps, so they're not going to be put on anytime soon, although I could use them in the future. Unfortunately, I ran out of flooring, and much to my surprise, they sold an entire pallet's worth of it before I went back, so I had to order the rest online. It should be here in a couple of days, and as soon as I get it, I'll be installing it, and then I'll start moving things over. All the corals should fit nicely in the lowboy, and then all the rock will stay in this tank, but I'll use it as a sump refugium, whatever you want to call it. Again, I don't really plan on putting a skimmer on right away or any kind of other equipment. I'm just really working with what I have. But the live rock in here really is what keeps the tank going. There is a bunch of macroalgae as well. I'm not really a huge refugium fan. I just simply don't have anything else to put in this tank, so I've let the macroalgae grow, and you can see this is a huge mess. But you can also see that the corals are growing, so clearly this is working. Hopefully when I move everything over, it will just continue on as things are, but maybe look a little bit neater. For lighting, all I have is just one black box and two 20K T5 bulbs. In addition to that, I occasionally use this Par 38 as a spotlight, but it's pretty much on its way out. So I will be picking up new lighting for the lowboy. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not really planning on anything specific, probably just something cheap. Despite the fact I have all these frags, I don't really sell a lot locally. If you watch my other videos, you know I live in the middle of nowhere. So usually I just take my frags with me and sell them ridiculously cheap to stores. But I can get rid of 100 at a time, which is what you gotta do when you have this many. There are a couple of pieces in here that will go into the display tank, but most of this is just coral overflow. Hopefully this video worked out okay. Normally I don't film them in one shot. I usually do a voiceover later, but I decided to just do this all in one shot. Thanks for watching, and happy reefing.